So that's what the final product's going to look like. I don't know, that just felt stupid. Let's lead in with that. Welcome to Sporks. I am Miles. I'm the owner here. I want to show you guys how I'm doing a few menu options. So we're going to start today with the chimichurri pork. We are going to start with our adobo. So salt, granulated garlic, paprika, onion powder, and black pepper. So we just do equal parts of all of it. So we start with, I'm just doing 2-ounce portions of salt, some granulated garlic. We can use smoked paprika. I like the regular. A little bit of onion powder, some black pepper. You just kind of stir this around a little bit so you can kind of see the paprika break up a little bit. See clumps going on. So you want to mix around, get all the clumps of paprika out for the final cooking, because otherwise you'll get bites of just paprika, and that's not very nice. You want to spread out a little bit. So now that that's done, you can kind of see what the final product's going to look like. Let me turn the light up a little bit for you. Nice and even in there. Next, we are going to get a pork butt for you. I use bone in. You can kind of see the bones in here. You can use boneless if you want. It's a little more expensive. It's all up to you. So I'm just going to kind of pour this on to start off with. Just kind of get every little crevice you can. Make sure it's all in there. Get the flavor in there for you. So this is a simple dry rub. Just get the flavor going on in there. Got a little extra, I'll pour it right on top. I really don't marinate it too much. I just kind of start off with that. Let me take my gloves off. And then secret ingredient, Coca-Cola. About half a can per butt. So I'm going to use 2 cans for this whole thing, just right on top. It doesn't really matter where it goes. We slow roast it, so in the end everything kind of gets mixed together. Okay, so we have the oven on 250. We're going to set it in here for 12 hours. So it's a really slow roast. It'll be nice and soft when it's all done. So we're going to pull this out of the oven. See right there, nice and brown on top. You always know you're finished. It just literally falls apart like that. And you can grab any piece. It turns out so nice. At around the 10th or 11th hour, you can turn it on 400, take the top off, and really get a good crisp top on there. And get that fat to, mingle around with all the meat, because everyone wants a good tasting butt. So next up, always wear gloves, gotta wear protection. About 7 sprigs is what you're gonna get at the grocery stores. I usually get them in batches. I'm making a big batch right now, so it'll be a little different, my measurements than your measurements at home. So this is about, for me, 7 bunches. We're just gonna put a good amount in there, too much, and it won't blend very well. We're gonna have 2 cups of red wine vinegar measured out. So we're gonna do 1 cup for right now, or close to 1 cup, it doesn't really matter. Just to get some wetness in there. You can see how much easier it blends with this. Okay, so after we pulse it up a little bit, we are gonna add a little more red wine vinegar to the bottom and do I guess we're going by thirds for this one. Each batch of parsley has its own fluffiness and consistency to it. So I'll put a little more in here, pulse it up a little bit. So you can see once it catches a little bit, it kind of starts taking everything with it. And as soon as that starts happening, you want to stop because you still want the nice chunks in there. You don't want it to be just a paste. I usually do about 1 garlic clove per bunch. These are kind of bigger cloves, so I'm only going with 6 for this. It's not really that big of a deal. And it's just a quick break to get all the skin off. Okay, so we are just peeling the garlic, getting all that off. This is the fun part. With garlic, everyone has their own way. I like to slice them pretty thin. You can kind of see it breaking down a little bit. Then, to save a lot of time, since we're already going to use a little bit of salt, I like to add a little bit of coarse salt in there. And just kind of smush it down. So what the coarse salt does is kind of just break it up for you. So you really don't need to chop it as much. You get the same flavor. And it really brings out all the goodness in there. This is going good, right? And you can kind of see even after one pass, this kind of just turns into a nice little paste instead of those chunks. And that's just all salt doing all the work. See how nice that is right there. So we're gonna put all those garlic cloves right in there. We're gonna follow that with the remaining red wine vinegar. We are gonna put the rest of this parsley in here. We already got the rest of the red wine vinegar. Then, most important part, ooh, can't say the word part, is sambal. So we are just gonna do 2, I'm gonna call them sporkfuls. You can call them tablespoons, kind of big ones. A typical recipe uses dried chili flakes. I like this a little bit better. Just add a little more flavor to it. So just a couple quick pulses. You can see everything starting to mix together in there. If you hold it, it's just gonna end up turning everything into like a soup. So, that is the chimichurri. A little taste of this. Not too much because it's pretty strong right now. Oh my God, that's so good. That Fork Drop. So we'll put the buns right on the grill, let them warm up a little bit. We're gonna grab a nice little bit of pork. Throw it right on top of the grill. You can hear it sizzling. So this will be, if you do decide to do this at home, it'll be easier for you in like a pan, non-stick coating. You can see kind of this is sticking to my grill with all those juices. I just like it to be crispy, bring out the flavor a little bit. Kind of just flip it over. You can see how it's browned up a little bit. So in that short amount of time, you can see a nice little toast on the top, and it kind of takes the whole thing with it. It's going to be a nice little bite on there. So we're going to bring that over here. Most important part, signature checkered paper. Open it up and you can see it's still nice and crispy right there too. So one more little flip. Again, stick in a little bit. So you can see how nice and brown that is. It's still super moist up inside here. So then, just put it right on top of the bun like that. You can see a nice little crunch right there. That's what it's all about. Okay, so we're gonna come back to the chimichurri, and this has a shelf life of about 2 to 3 weeks. The first day, it's gonna have a lot of bite to it. That sambal is gonna take up a lot of flavor, and so is that garlic. The second and the third day is where all the flavors kind of come together, and that's when it really starts tasting good. So we're just gonna put a generous amount on there. So the last step we do is we just chop up some cabbage. We just put it on top, really for color and a little extra crunch. And the top bun, we are all set. It's awesome. Can we get a video of me just taking a disgusting bite out of this?
Of course.
Okay, so for the last part, you take this here sandwich and bite away.
Oh, so good. Oh my god.
Sport Drive.